For rounds 7, 8 and 9 of the British Formula 3 International Series, we have returned to home soil, and here we are at Brands Hatch. And for the drivers, this place is always a little bit special as they get to race around the full Grand Prix circuit. This place is a tough challenge, whether it's hanging on through the mighty drop on the exit of Paddock Hill Bend or going flat out along the tree-lined track of the old Grand Prix loop. It's going to feel more like a roller coaster ride, and that's exactly why they love it. Now, 2 weeks ago, the action was fought out at the legendary Spa-Francorchamps, and the circuit's infamous weather played its part in the races. Here's Mark Werrell to remind us.
The hot summer came to a dramatic end in Belgium as it felt more like a monsoon had descended on the Ardennes forest. At times, visibility was so poor, drivers were racing almost blind.
Midway through, it started really bucketing down, and you sort of aquaplane, and the gears going up into Le Com, usually in 6th gear, and you only pull in 5th because there's that much water. The car is just slowing down in the water. It made it pretty difficult.
Behind the guys completely, you can't see anything, so it's just really, really hard. You know, sometimes you just have to see, guessing where the braking is, guessing where to turn. Sometimes, you know, so, and especially going up Rouge without seeing anything, it's incredible.
I mean, I could close up to about 1.5 seconds, but any further was pretty difficult because you're just driving blind.
Jan was racing hard with teammate Nicholas Latifi in the driving rain when they locked wheels, flipping Mardenborough in a terrifying accident.
Race 1 wasn't the way I intended to finish the race or even do anything like that. So yeah, I mean, I was just overtaking Nick at turn 1 and heading down into Eau Rouge. I had the inside for the left and gave some room for the right part, and I don't know, I think he just understeered into my wheel, and then next thing I'm upside down on the roof. But I'm fine, he was fine after, so yeah, moved on from then.
There was also an incident in the final race where Jan hit Antonio Giovinazzi after the checkered flag, earning him a 5-place penalty this weekend. But the star of the show was Giovinazzi, who launched himself off the line in every race and looked like a true rainmeister.
Yeah, for sure was really good. From also Saturday I did good to start, so Sunday I was 4, so I really focused for start good like the day before. And yeah, from 4 to first in the first corner, so I'm really happy for this. So I really focus for the start because I know when you stay behind some driver in the rain, it's difficult for pass. So I focus for come first in the first corner. I was good, so I did all race first, and I'm very happy for the winner.
So after the first 6 rounds of 2013, Will Buller leads the championship by 21 points, and leading the national class is Sung Zheng. The returning Jasmine Jafar qualified on pole position for race 1. There were also problems for Ed Jones, the Silverstone national class winner, on the grid. Will Buller was rather keen to get away when the red lights went out, and therefore was able to leapfrog both of those cars that sat there on the second row of the grid, pushed wide, however, turning in towards Paddock Hill Bend. But from pole position, it was Jasmine Jafar that hung on to the lead of the race, with his teammate Jordan King slotting in 2nd place and Antonio Giovinazzi there in 3rd. As the race continued, the Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit was also about to claim its first victim. Sean Galayle running wide, coming out of Sheen Curve, putting his wheels on the grass, and then was hoisted backwards into the barriers in retirement. Unfortunately, the good start for Will Buller was deemed a little bit too good, and therefore it was a drive-through penalty for the British driver. However, it was a great return to the series for the 20-year-old Malaysian. Jasmine Jafar came through and took honours in race 1 of the weekend. And despite the drive-through penalty, championship leader Will Buller was able to clamber his way back through the order and finish in 6th. In the national class, it was Sung Zheng that took his 4th victory on the trot, and the overall race winner was Jasmine Jafar.
Had a great start and just kept it consistent to the end, but yeah, Jordan was pretty quick. I mean, he was really quick throughout the race, and but yeah, got a bit worried with the back markers towards the end. But yeah, I'm really happy. Good comeback.
You're buzzing it, aren't you?
Yeah, still am.
It's time for race 2 here at Brands Hatch, and this one is a reverse grid, meaning the front 8 cars have been reversed. The lady to profit from that is Tatiana Calderon, and we know she's very keen to mix it up there in F3. So will this be the first time we see her finish on the podium?
So the revs begin to rise as the red lights come on, and Tatiana Calderon sits there on pole position. She's slowly away. Will Buller will rather got the jump again as they head up towards Paddock Hill Bend for the first time. Will Buller has taken the lead of the race, and as they turn their way through the right-hander, it looks as though our pole sitter, Tatiana Calderon, has dropped down from pole position into third position. As the field head up towards Druids for the first time, there is our race 1 winner, Jasmine Jafar, fighting away with Jordan King, and both of them trying to squeeze their way through and pass Nicholas Latifi. Onto the brakes as we ride on board with Jordan King. He turns his way through the left-hander Graham Hill Bend and onto the Cooper Straight for the first time. And all of the time, our race leader, Will Buller, starting to get away. Out of Surtees corner, number 2, Jordan King, pressing on as we ride on board with him once more. It's the race 1 winner, Jasmine Jafar, that sits ahead as they head down Pilgrim's Drop and up towards Hawthorne Bend for the first time. You can see the advantage that our race leader Will Buller has on the road. Sitting there in second place is Philippe Guimarães, and look at the fight that's going on for the lead of the national class. A frantic first lap as they all make their way out of Hawthorne up towards Westfield. Will Buller still pressing on in the lead of the race. The rest of the field all feeding their way through, which includes the yellow car in the hands of Antonio Giovinazzi, trying to squeeze his way up the inside of the pole sitter Tatiana Calderon, and he's made it through. And it certainly looks as though Jordan King is going to try and follow through his teammate Jasmine Jafar, who sweeps around the outside of Tatiana Calderon, turning in towards Clearways corner. And Jordan King is the next that's queuing up for the move. There is a drive-through penalty by the look of things also for Will Buller, so his start in this race was deemed too good as well, and therefore it's been a torrid weekend so far for Will Buller. Another drive-through penalty. Jordan King having managed to gain a place on the Spanish-based Colombian Tatiana Calderon, and this is a squabble for second in the national class. The two teammates fighting away. Number 66, Cameron Twyman, trying to hold off the attentions of Ed Jones, who's looking to try and drive his way around the outside here, coming up towards Druids corner. The outside would give him the inside for Graham Hill Bend. It looks as though they're all going to run line astern as they head down and in towards the braking area for Graham Hill Bend. Cameron Twynham still hanging on to second in the class. There is number 87, the black and gold car, the national class leader, that being the car that's in the hands of Sun Zheng. As we look back at Will Buller off the start, you can see he was much keener to get away than everybody else. It was deemed to have jumped the start, and therefore he incurs his second drive-through penalty of the weekend. Off and into the gravel trap, and as the dust settles, that's number 53, the Kiwi Chris Flock, that will be taking no further part in the race. This now is the lead battle for the national class, with Sun Zheng still managing to keep at bay the very close attentions indeed of car number 81, Ed Jones. The two of them, almost as one, turn their way in towards Druids corner before they'll then start to head back down the hill and in towards the left-hander at Graham Hill Bend. Off and into the gravel trap, and that looks as though that may well be the car in the hands of Jan Mardenborough, because Jordan King is going through. Jan Mardenborough rejoining the circuit, and it looks as though whilst he's lost a couple of places, it could have been far worse, couldn't it, for Jan Mardenborough? Let's have a quick look at the replay of it. There goes Felipe Guimarães, our race leader. He makes his way in towards Stirling Bend as Jan Mardenborough from second position makes a mistake coming in towards the right-hander at Sheen Curve all through the gravel. As Will Buller, who we ride on board with, is now looking to reassert himself further up through the order. Jan Mardenborough is the next car that he is looking to try and dive his way through and pass. Dives up the inside very late on the brakes coming in towards Paddock Hill Bend, fighting to try and control the car on the absolute edge of adhesion. And for Will Buller, it's another position gained. Jan Mardenborough, though, trying to fight back on the run up towards Druids corner, will not be able to regain the place. So Felipe Guimarães still continues to lead the race. There is the car that runs in second position, which is Antonio Giovinazzi. Here come the cars in third and fourth place, fighting away. The two teammates, Jasmine Jafar with Jordan King right behind him, and in his newly acquired fifth place, following the drive-through penalty, there goes number 3, Will Buller. The Fortec boys urging him on from the pit wall. They will also be urging on number 23, our race leader, as Felipe Guimarães is looking towards his first victory of the season. It would be only his second visit to the podium. Will Buller, though, car number 3, is absolutely flying. He is now starting to close in onto the tail end of car number 2, Jordan King, and if he can manage to do that, well, of course, if the driver he's vying for the championship with, Very keen indeed if he can gain the position. Here they come, and it looks as though this time Will Buller has had a much better run coming out of Paddock Hill Bend. He's got the inside line as they turn their way round through Druids Corner. Sensible driving from both. Jordan King gives just enough room to Will Buller. Will Buller takes the place away, and therefore he's now up into 4th position. Here comes our race leader, Felipe Guimarães, and for him, as he turns his way out of Clearways Corner, he's going to make his way over the start-finish line, and it is going to be a first victory of the 2013 season for the Brazilian driver. Felipe Guimarães comes through and takes the honours. Antonio Giovinazzi comes through, and he will finish in 2nd position, and it's been a good drive from 8th on the grid for the race 1 winner, Jasmin Jaffar, on his return to the British Formula 3 Championship. Will Buller, a solid 4th position, and as for the national class, well, it looks as though it's going to be another class win for number 81, Ed Jones. He claims what for him will be his first class win of this weekend. So confirmation then that Ed Jones beat Sun Zheng to the national class victory, and it was a strong drive from 8th position on the grid for the race 1 winner, Jasmin Jaffar, but it's a very happy man on the top step of the podium. First victory of the season for the Brazilian, Felipe Guimarães.
Today was perfect. Our car was better. After struggling a lot in the weekend, you know, to get a better setup. So here we are. I think today was just good.
So congratulations to Felipe Guimarães for taking his first race win. After the break, we're back with race 3. British F3 is always hard fought, but exactly 30 years ago, we witnessed one of the greatest title battles in its history as a talented young Brit took on a driver who would become a legend.
In 1983, a young Ayrton Senna took on Martin Brundle in a dramatic title battle, and it was a rivalry that started even before the season had begun.
That was a battle because Eddie Jordan wanted him and we wanted him. But we did a test and Ayrton was over the moon.
When the championship got underway, Senna was dominant, taking an impressive 9 victories in the first half of the season. However, Brundle did not give up and eventually won at Silverstone, with Senna crashing, trying to keep up. The Brazilian was rattled and crashed in 3 of the next 6 races.
I had to sit him down because our big points lead was being eroded, yet he wasn't happy to finish 2nd. He was a bit tough at times to deal with.
Then it all came to a head at Alton Park as the two of them battled for the lead. Senna made a lunge, they collided.
Into Foster's, and on the inside, Senna tries to come through. The gap isn't there. He's on top of the car of Martin Brundle.
In the end, it all came down to the final round at Thruxton, with Martin Brundle hanging on to a 1-point advantage.
This is 20 races and we want to win it, you know, we haven't come here to finish 2nd or 3rd.
The championship title today for us would be just a big prize for all the effort that we have put early in the season with, you know, nine wins in a row, which means something special.
However, as the race unfolded, it was Senna who showed his class.
Out of the chicane for the last time, it's Ayrton Senna who's going to take the championship. He's well ahead now of Davy Jones. Jones is going to finish 2nd. There's over the line goes Ayrton Senna. Brundle in the lead when we came here, in 3rd place here. What a battle for the championship.
England is the center of world motorsport, and for many years Brundle is one of the best that I ever saw. So we will see if we met later in Formula 1.
It's time for the 3rd and final race of the weekend here at Brands Hatch, and as you can see, the man on pole, Mr. Jasmin Jaffar, would just love that top step for the 2nd time. But the chap just behind him is Jordan King, who could really use the championship points and would love the win.
Round 9 of the 2013 Cooper Tires British Formula 3 International Series, and Jasmin Jaffar sits on pole position as the red lights come on. They flash out now, and it's a good start from the outside of the front row of the grid for Jordan King, looking to try and get himself ahead of his teammate here as they head up towards Paddock Hill Bend for the first time. In towards the right-hander they'll go, as Jasmin Jaffar has managed to maintain the lead of the race, squeezing Jordan King to the outside of the road. Here they come up towards Druids for the first time. Nicholas Latifi's there in the third position, and everybody wanting to be fourth at the moment. It looks like Antonio Giovinazzi is just in fourth position, but he's got Guimaraes sitting right behind him. Then there's Buller, then there's Jan Mardenborough. All of those cars nose to tail on this first lap as they all make their way along the Cooper Straight. You can see just how tightly bunched they are. Will Buller having to defend from car number 21, Jan Mardenborough, as we ride on board with the British driver. Out of Surtees corner, down the straight he'll go. You can see all of the cars nose to tail trying to get the slipstream from each other, but on this tight and twisty Brands Hatch circuit, it looks like Jan Mardenborough now having to defend, looking to try and head it up the inside goes Sean Galale. The door is closed, however, and now it looks as though the Indonesian driver is having to defend from Tatiana Cadaron, who is looking to try and thrust her way up the inside. Down through the back section of the circuit, round through Sheen Curve, then up towards the braking area for Stirling's. You can see just how tightly packed it is. There goes the third place car of Nicholas Latifi, the blue and light blue machine, and looking as though he runs wide from fourth position. That's Antonio Giovinazzi in fourth place. Put a wheel on the dirt already. Guimaraes therefore has pounced and has gone through, and now Will Buller will also be trying to work his way up through the order. Here they come onto the completion of the first lap of the race, and as they head up towards Paddock Hill Bend, Guimaraes they're having to look and defend from Antonio Giovinazzi, who's looking to drive his way up the inside. The two of them getting very